Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, November 18th, 2019. We have in attendance with us the following city officials: Mayor Kathy Canzero-Perry, Safety Service Director Mark Sylvester, from the Law Department, Justin Richards, Economic Development Director David Maley, and the Income Tax Budget Director Lori Moore. On the walls to your left are agendas for anyone wishing.
No.
Oh. Does anyone need an agenda? I have one person to adjust it. On number 5 on the agenda, where the public will speak on any item that does appear on tonight's agenda, and then again under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on tonight's agenda. I'd like to remind you, if you have a cell phone, set it to mute, vibrate, or turn it off. Roll call.
Creamer.
Present.
Cunningham.
Present.
Gray.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
Irwin.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Lippman.
Here.
Manson.
Here.
And Stare.
Here.
Roll call of 9 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Manson.
Yes, please join me in the Lord's Prayer and pledge allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin, Councilman Gray.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to give a shout out to Massillon Tigers with a big victory Friday night over Perry. I also wanted to mention what a tremendous job the Lake community did in hosting that contest. They did, the administrators, the people of Lake really provided a great atmosphere and did a great job hosting that contest. And last thing I'd like to say is I just hope that as our Tigers are one step closer to a state championship, we've got a big obstacle ahead of us this next game, but if we can just get a lot of support from the community for them, especially business owners. If you've got marquees, let's get Go Tigers out on those marquees. And if you have, Tiger signs in your windows, and let's show the Tigers how much we support. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry,
May I add something?
Sure.
One of the businesses in town donated the Beat Hogan signs, and those are available, I think, at Keller Office Supply and probably also Tiger Racks, if anybody wants to put their windows.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections to be made?
No, there are not.
And the minutes stand approved as written. We're at number 5 on the agenda, where anyone from the audience may come forward and speak on any topic that does appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your remarks to 3 minutes.
How are you? Madam President, hello. What have we got here?
Madam President, is that a little too loud for you, Madam President, or are you okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, because I'm going to have my best voice for you. I caught that in the paper about you, and it was a nice thing about the AAA. Really appreciate it. Congratulations to you, Mayor, for winning the Person of the Year award from the Repository and Independent. So good job there. I'm going to talk about ordinance number 153-219 here today. I feel so strongly about it, I had to be here. I know it breaks your heart, some of them. But The $15,000 grant for Stark Medical Specialties. Jill is my congresswoman, I mean not congresswoman, but councilwoman. Maybe even a congresswoman, that woman, Jill. I like talking to you on the phone. However, as a taxpayer of Ward 4, I would appreciate it if you would vote no on the doctors getting the grant. And I'm saying this in a nice tone. This is the mayor's husband. Besides that, they're not making any capital improvements. I checked out to the building close to Home Depot, as it's a leased building, and they don't even own it, okay? And I even checked even further. Absolutely not a capital improvement to real property nor value enhancement to the property itself. I just don't like the way it is. I know the mayor abstained from it, but if anybody should get any monies handed out by Dave Bailey, Economic Director, Mayor Kathy Pedizero Perry, it should be the streetscape people, not the mayor's husband and all her partners, period. These people at Streetscape took big losses, some $130,000 and more street business with many varied losses. So I tell you this, the money tree for Dr. Perry and partner doctors should grow in their own backyard, not in the city of Massillon. I really do believe this, and especially a tree the taxpayers pay for. I say to Dr. Perry, no way, Tony. We have too many businesses that have been devastated by poor planning, miscommunication, and endangering our residents and business with the dangerous streetscape project. And later on, I've been down there and I did a lot of things with some engineers. You'll see what I mean about dangerous. I've been around and I've got, they don't want no open drive-throughs coming from there with the brick. So finally, if we do want to, and end it up, Joe, if we want Dr. Perry and his partners, doctors, if they want to donate $15,000, or let's say $100,000 or $150,000 to the businesses, thank you, to the businesses here in Massillon, Ohio, then I say take it, Jill, and I say all the council members, please take it. I feel terrible for all the businesses down there at Streetscape who lost money, and the mayor's husband is asking for money. I'm trying to say it in my best voice. The city of Massillon people, you can email me or anything else you want to, but I think we need to fight for this. We have one in attendance here, Bill Weaver, tonight, one of the owners of Streetscape, lost a lot of money. And I don't mean any disrespect to the mayor. She's always nice and hardy, but I'm going to tell it just the way it is. And thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Good. Anybody else? Seeing none, we move into introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 153, 2019.
And ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into an agreement with Stark Medical Specialties to provide an economic inducement grant for building renovation at removing costs for the property located at 2458 Lincoln Way East, Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Hanson.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. As I said last week, I intend to let this thing go 3 readings, but I do think that a couple things I'd like to touch on. I also said that before we voted on this, I would hope we would have some type of strong statement from the law department as to the way they look at this. And specifically, I've had somebody request that we look into whether it's ethical or not. So I think that needs to be looked at. As I said the other day, they're coming to town with over $1 million proposed $1 million budget. I don't know. We have to see if it's that or not. But the taxes on that would be somewhere around $20,000 the way we calculate it. Maybe more than that. So it may even cover what the cost of the grant is. So I think it's worth taking a look at the grant, but I think we do need to look at the other stuff that's involved with it and give it two more readings.
Mr. Manston, could Mr. Richards come up and speak?
Who?
From the law department? Oh,
No,
I
No.
thought you said you wanted to.
I didn't want, no, not now.
Oh, okay,
I want it before we vote on it.
okay.
I just want to give you an update, Mr. Mason, and the council, we spoke to somebody from the Ethics Commission today, briefed them on what the scenario is and are expecting something back.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it tonight, I just want to make those points and those questions that I've had and get answers for them. So, that's it, second reading, or first reading, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I did that twice now last month.
Ordinance number 153, 2019 has received first reading. Ordinance number 154, 2019.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety of the City of Massillon, Ohio, to enter into an agreement between the Massillon City School Board Massillon City School District Board of Education, the City of Massillon, and the Parks and Recreation Department, and the City of Massillon, Ohio, for with regard to the tennis courts at Reservoir Park and declaring an emergency.
Councilwoman Creamer.
Thank you, Madam President. As we discussed at the work session, I was hoping to see Park and Rec Director some paper here. I don't see him, but the law director did speak upon this request, this ordinance of $50,000, a one-time payment from the Massillon City Board of Education to the City Park and Rec for the tennis court project. Total project is $199,000 for this renovation. It is a contract agreement, which is a 20-year agreement for this. As the law director stated, nothing has changed regarding the use of this court. This city takes first priority, they request this, nothing has changed. So are there any questions regarding this ordinance?
Councilwoman Harris.
My only question is, when the courts were originally put in, did the school board kick in any money for that originally?
To my knowledge, no.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Littman.
As far as the scheduling for the use of the courts, it indicates in the contract that it should be done by the board's athletic director and the department's director. Do you know what that's referring to? The Parks and Rec director, or are they to call in and someone at the Parks and Rec is going to do it?
You know what, I cannot specifically answer that, although I am told that it is, they're continuing the same process that they currently hold regarding scheduling usage of the tennis courts. So if it goes through Steve, it's going to be the same process. If it goes through the school, it's the same process. I know this is something that they wanted to move on this, but if this was a concern of yours that you want me to give first reading, if you think it's something that we need to hold off on, I'm willing to do that.
Well, I guess I'd just like to confirm, is the school the priority and the public then, if it is being used by the school, then it is not open to the public, is that correct? I just would hate for there to be confusion if there is another group that typically would use the courts if they, I don't know if Mike's got privy information.
And Steve's not here. Is anyone from the city that can answer these questions? Good.
I had 3 sons that played tennis. The last one graduated in 2017, and I know as long as Coach Manweiler's been the coach, what they've done is the schools get priority for scheduling for practices and matches. If the public wants to use the courts, they can use them on a as available basis, or they can contact they can schedule through the Parks Department to get like reserve time, but the schools get priority. You know, as far as I know, always have.
Keeping track of that, though, so that the Parks and Rec doesn't plan something at the same time that the school has.
Yeah, to my knowledge, that's never been an issue.
And I think I have that.
Councilwoman Nancy.
You're saying that the school, the parks still control, that the school is given those priority on those,
Scheduling
their
matches.
schedule,
And practice.
when they're scheduling for their practices, but it's still any other time it would be the parks making the decision on how it's used.
Councilman Lewis.
I just wanted to point out that this arrangement has been going on for at least 25 years. So it's never been an issue. It's what our community is used to. paper is because now the school is putting forward money, and the school said, if we're gonna put forward money, we need to have it. So all they're doing is contractualizing the verbal agreement they've had for, and I would say 25 years because when I was in high school. It could be longer.
Councilman Mansson?
Yeah, there's been home court, right? Used to be some courts down in Lincoln Park, but those have been gone for a long time, I believe.
There's still a couple parks that belong for tennis courts up there, but they need some serious work.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would just be anticipating more interest in the tennis courts. They're going to be brand new. Maybe those that even have graduated from Massillon that may want to come back, or adult groups may want to be part of using that facility now that it's going to be brand new. That's my only question.
Councilman Mansson?
There are leagues in the summer. There used to be. I don't know if they do have them now. Talking about golf leagues and stuff. I don't know if they still play now or not. One guy that was from Fleming, that was an executive at Fleming, used to be the city champ all the time. I can't remember what his name is right now, but they had adults, they had summer leagues.
Councilman Harris, did you have something?
I actually played tennis for the Tigers in high school. Practices run after school until about 5 o'clock, just ask Larry. And the matches run, there's no rhyme or reason to the matches. They could be on a Tuesday, Thursday one week, and then Monday, Friday the next week. I think what we need to look at here is the Massillon City Schools are basically getting use of brand new tennis courts that cost the city, what, $300,000? $199,000.
$199,000.
I mean, for 20 years, I mean, what would that cost them to put in property, and, you know, are we getting what it's worth? That's my take.
Councilman Stewart?
And this is a agreement we've had with the school district, as we said, for years. I mean, I played tennis as well back in 2003. And I don't feel like it's appropriate to be making a profit off the school district. I think it's more or less, this is just a good agreement we have with the school district. It's been working for years and years and years. We haven't had any issues up until this point. I don't see any foreseeable issues in the future. I've never seen any complaints that the schools use those courts for people. So I don't feel
I'd just like to add, I do know that Coach Manweiler and the teams do provide maintenance, at least cleaning and things like that for courts. They don't just use them and walk away from them. So they're adding some sweat equity into the equation as well.
Councilman Harris?
I'm not saying I'm not in favor of this. I'm just saying that those are some things we should probably look at. I think the city's going to have some tennis courts regardless, so if the school's willing to give us some money, I think.
Councilman Flynn?
Would there be any notification or information given to the public? Since again, these are going to be brand new courts, that they are aware of this contract and that the schools have priority.
I can't answer that.
I can't answer that. I feel that there's a lot of questions tonight, good questions, that we don't have definitive answers. I think we're just going to give it first reading today, and Parks Director he'll be here, I believe, next Monday. He can speak and answer any of these questions, just to put everybody's mind at ease. So first reading.
Thank you, Councilman Kramer. Ordinance number 54, 2019 is received first reading. Might I ask Councilman Kramer, do you know if it's just strictly tennis courts, or are they also going to be playing pickleball there?
Let me just say, tennis courts was the topic of discussion at the Park and Rec meeting. Thank you.
Madam President? I believe when Mr. Pedro was here a few months back, he mentioned that they're going to be working on starting the pickleball leagues. And he did mention at the time that just the tennis
Up
courts.
there? Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Pickleballs, tennis for all people. Ordinance number 155, 2019.
An ordinance authorizing the Director of Law of the City of Massillon, Ohio to renew a one-year agreement with the Stark County Public Defender's Office for the purpose of providing representation for indigent defendants that are charged under city ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, Madam President. This is something we discussed at the committee meeting with Law Director Skaza. It's a standard agreement that's been in place for several years. We're just renewing it. Is there anyone from the law department who would like to speak regarding this?
Richard Justice.
Justin Richard on behalf of the law department. I can, as Councilman Gregg said, this is an existing agreement. I can tell you the only other alternative is to have the courts appoint, which would be much more costly. So this appears to be the financially prudent option, and it's the one that the city's gone. Anyone has any questions?
Does anyone have questions for Mr. Richards? Thank you. Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, Ms. Richards. Given that, and we've already discussed it, if there's no objections, I think we move this forward and waive the rule requiring 3 readings and put this issue, or ordinance number 155-2019 forward for a vote.
Second by Councilman Starrett. Roll call for suspension.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Irwin,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Manson,
Yes.
Sterrett,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris, Irwin,
Yes.
Lewis, Littman,
Yes.
Manson,
Yes.
Sterrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 155, 2019 is passed. Ordinance number 156, 2019.
An ordinance amending section 2D, occupation list of class titles, city officials, law director, of ordinance number 94, 1994, ordinance number 215, 1995, and ordinance number 127, 1997, by repealing section 2D, occupation list of class titles, city officials, law director, and enacting a new section 2D, occupation list of class titles, city officials, law director in the city of Massillon, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Gregg?
Thank you, Madam President. First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 156, 2019 has received first reading. Ordinance number one, yes.
Just some information back to this. I'd like to ask the law department to get us some information on how this was handled originally, if it's a Ohio Revised Code that this is being done under, and also if there could be a referendum on this and be put on a ballot, if that's possible. I'd like to know if that's not now. I'd rather discuss it at our committee meetings, but that's the information I'd like to have, please.
Anyone else? Okay. Ordinance number 156, 2019 has received first reading. Ordinance number 157, 2019.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1237 Economic Development Fund for Stark Medical Specialties for the year ending December 31st, 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 157, 2019 has received first reading. Ordinance number 158, 2019.
An ordinance making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of the 1234 Parks and Recreation Fund for the Legends of Massillon Golf Course for the year ending December 31st, 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
First reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 158, 2019 has received first reading. Ordinance number 159, 2019.
making certain appropriations from the unappropriated balance of 1205 Safety Forces Improvement Fund for the programming of radios for the year ending December 31st, 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
Yes, this fund will appropriate $4,000 for the programming of radios so that our safety forces are able to better communicate with other districts, surrounding districts, as they're working. This is all coming from the courts and their safety forces improvement fund. Are there any questions or discussions? Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring three readings for ordinance number 159-2019 for a vote.
Second by Councilman Manson. Roll call for suspension.
Harris.
Yes.
Irwin.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman.
Yes.
Manson.
Yes.
Starrett.
Yes.
Creamer.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
And Gray.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage.
Irwin.
Yes.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman.
Yes.
Manson.
Yes.
Starrett.
Yes.
Creamer.
Yes.
Cunningham.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
And Harris.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 159-2019 is passed. Ordinance number 160-2019.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to approve the prisoner transport agreement between the city of Massillon and political subdivisions using the city's prisoner transport service, and authorizing the auditor of the city of Massillon, Ohio, to deposit said funds into the 1100 General Fund and the 1401 Capital Improvement Fund effective January 1st, 2020, and declaring an emergency.
Ordinance. Councilman Lewis?
Yes, this is an annual agreement that we have. This is so that whenever there is a district that has a case being heard in one of our courts, and there has to be transportation involved, we're able to receive payment for that. And there is also built-in clause that allows us to receive some of the money built in capital improvement place today to take care of their maintenance as necessary. Are there any questions or discussions?
Councilman Littman?
I would just like to confirm that 8515 is what it currently is, or is this a change in those percentages from the current agreement?
No.
I don't have a copy of that agreement here that says attached Exhibit A, so that's why I was
Yeah, I
asking.
don't have a copy, but there was no changes from the previous year.
So it was 8515
Previous year. no.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Councilman Creamer?
Do we have any idea how much money this generates annually?
I do not. I'll have to look and see if I can. Give us a second, we might find it in our handy budget right here. Before we ask the budget director, should reference it directly. It gets spread out in multiple funds, we can find out that information, if it's that essential to your passage, but essentially we need the passage in order to get paid.
I'm okay with proceeding, but I'd like to know how much money it generates.
Could we ask that the administration have someone please email out the response to that? They will send out an email response, with an answer as to how much money is exactly generated from that. Any other questions or discussion? I can speak really loud. Any other questions or discussions?
Not as loud.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend rules requiring three readings for ordinance number 1602019 for a vote.
Second by Councilman. Suspension.
Lewis.
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
Manson,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris, and Early.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 suspended.
And for passage.
Littman,
Yes.
Manson,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris, Irwin,
Yes.
and Lewis.
Yes.
9 yes, 4 passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 160, 2019 is passed. Ordinance number 161, 2019.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Massillon, Ohio to enter into an agreement with the Massillon City School District with regard to the real property tax valuation of permanent parcel number 10003720 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis. Councilman Manson.
Thank you, Madam President. This is what we entered into executive session to discuss here today. Is there any questions anybody needs going forward? I'm not asking to pass this, I'm going to give the second reading, but is there anything anybody would like to know in regards to this? I hope the next committee meeting that the law director is here to discuss it. Dave, everybody discuss this in open session.
Councilman Starrett.
Is this something that is time sensitive to the point where we don't have the time to push it this far? I just don't know, like, since there is litigation pending, that we need to have any
Anybody
special
answer that?
meeting
I
or
don't think
anything
I
like
can
that.
answer you today. Maybe
Yeah,
that's it.
I just don't know.
I've had conversations with the auditor, off and on about this issue. I think they prefer us to move on it. I know when I talked to the auditor today, I think the school boards are going to take it, make sure when their next meeting is within the next week or two. They agree, and we agree here at council, and the board of division can move ahead and get it taken care of. Normally, they try to get all their cases done by the end of September, end of October, November, so I'm not sure, may not in the schedule, but if there are questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them tonight, or if we could wait for this week, but I think
I'm very inclined just to give this first reading and have some more discussion on it next week. I think this is one of the biggest things that's hit us in quite some time here, and I really think we have to take a little time to consider it. If there's an emergency problem, then we can have an emergency meeting. But if there's no drop dead dates involved here, I can't see where.
I could possibly reach out and see if there's an issue, and if there is, maybe next week we could have a
Yeah, and I recommend anybody that has any questions to give them to me or something, and I'll give them to Dave, and we'll try to get them answered. Move on from there. But as you see, if you look at the ordinance, we're talking about a lot of money. $3.5 million valuation as compared to a $6.5 million valuation, so it's an important thing. So, first reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 161, 2019 has received first reading. Madam Clerk, is there any unfinished business?
No, there is not.
Are there any petitions and general communications?
Yes, we have a request for a new liquor license for the Sangria stand. First floor front unit and patio located at 39 Lincoln Way East, Massillon, Ohio 44646. It is a permit class D3 and located in Ward 2.
Councilman Irwin, did you get a copy of this?
Yes, I am.
Madam President,
Yes.
could you clarify what a D3 permit class is?
I believe it's just wine. I'm not sure. I can look it up for you.
Because I thought they were already serving wine.
Sorry, Madam President. For the record, a D3 is spirituous liquor for on-premises consumption only until 1 a.m.
Liquor and wine.
It just says spirituous.
Yeah, they've already got a line. They already got
That's
one.
what I thought. Okay.
Anyone else? Are there any bills, accounts, and claims?
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $639.20 payable to the repository for the publication of our September ordinances.
Councilman Lewis,
Make a motion that we pay the bills.
second by Councilman Littman, roll call.
Manson,
Yes.
Starrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Irwin,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
and Bittman.
Yes.
9 yes to pay the bills.
Clerk will pay the bills and charge them to their proper accounts. Are there any reports from city officials?
No, there are not.
Reports of committees, there will be a Health, Welfare, Building Regulations Committee meeting Monday, November 25th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. and then our regular work session will follow at 6:30. Are there any requests and resolutions and requests of council? Calendar, ordinance number 126, 2019.
Ordinance number 126, 2019 was tabled November the 4th, 2019 until November 18th, 2019. It is an ordinance amending Chapter 32 of the Massillon Code of 1968 by repealing existing Section 32.14 personnel of the police department and enacting a new Section 32.14 personnel of the police department, and also repealing Section 2 of ordinance number 126, 1977.
Councilman Harris?
Thank you, Madam President. Can I have the chief come up?
Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
Has there been any movement by the union on this issue?
We've had one meeting, and we are trying to set up another meeting for next week, hopefully. So I would request that we continue to table it. If we could do it like maybe 4 weeks out, just to give us a little time, because there are going to be some things to continue to work on, and that would still get us kind of before the end of the year.
Summer 16th.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Madam President, I make a motion that we continue to table this ordinance until December the 16th.
Second by Councilman Manson, roll call.
Starrett,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Irwin,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Littman,
Yes.
and Manson.
Yes.
9 yes to table ordinance number 126, 2019 until December 16th, 2019.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Ordinance number 126, 2019 has been tabled until December 16th of 2019. Third reading ordinances and resolutions. There are none. Second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 150, 2019.
An ordinance to adopt appropriations for the operating and capital expenditures of the city of Massillon, Ohio for the fiscal year 2020 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis?
First reading.
Second.
Second reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 150, 2019 has received second reading. Ordinance number 151, 2019.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 143, 1976 to enact a new section allocation of funds income tax by repealing section 13 allocation of funds income tax and enacting a new section 13 allocation of funds income tax and repealing ordinance number 147, 2017 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Second reading.
Thank you. Ordinance number 151-2019 has received second reading. Is there any new miscellaneous business? New item number 17 on the agenda. Where anyone from the audience may come up and speak on any topic that did not appear on tonight's agenda. If you wish to do so, please state your name, address, topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
I am James Havistow, 2443 Wittenberg Avenue Southeast, Massillon, Ohio, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak tonight. First of all, as I told you a couple times, I don't care who wins the election, we're just moving the city forward. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. We had more participation in the city than I think we've had. We had a compliment for the repository, for people stepping up and running for office. A lot of people ask me what my plan is. I'll tell you what my plan is. I hope that in 2 years, we have every seat challenged. That's not because you're not doing a good job. I never said anyone here was doing a good job. I hope someone steps up in both parties and challenges. I hope that those two challengers come together in the general election. I hope that independent candidates again step up to the plate. I'm excited about that because Massillon can be ahead of the cities around us and others. No election should be dominated by one party. We have Republicans working against me, Democrats working against me, some working for me. That's the way the system goes. I have no animus whatsoever for what I've done or what any of the people running for office did. I'm sad to see some people leaving council. I'm glad to see some coming on board. It just changes. It's that way. And now I know I'm just the hot dog man, and I want to make that very clear and put that on public record for the city. Yes, I am just a hot dog man. But while the hot dog man was studying this week, not hot dogs, but the Constitution of the United States and the Declaration of Independence, when I was studying that in between making hot dogs, I noticed there was 56 people that signed that Declaration of Independence. And you know what's interesting? I don't have a lot to lose. I'm just a middle-class guy. I got a comfortable life, nice family, make a nice living. I think a lot of us are the same way. But I look back and I started researching that, and I couldn't believe it, what these 56 people went through. These were people that had 170 years in this country before the Declaration of Independence, or families they built up wealth. They were powerful people, mostly lawyers, doctors, landowners, business owners. They were wealthy. One guy put up $2 million at that time. Now that's worth $30 million of his own money to fund the Revolutionary War and never got repaid by the government. Sold everything he had, died broke. That was a similar story for most of them. Interesting, I sent a message to a friend of mine this week about Massillon, and they said, let it burn. And we chuckled about it. It was funny. It straight up was funny. It was a joke between us. But then I started thinking about John Hancock, one of the most famous signers of that Declaration of Independence, and he stood and looked over Boston. And what did he say? Something to the effect of, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, if that city burns, that makes me a poor man. But if I do that for the sake of the good of the future and freedom of the people of this country, I'm willing to do it. And that's what we did in this election. We don't have a lot to lose like they did. But that's a powerful thing. I hope we all work. We don't deserve the jobs we're in. We're elected and we serve the people. And I want us to always keep that attitude. If you're challenged in an election, guess what? You should be. Not because you're bad, but because the free exchange of ideas and the free speech that we experience here at this council is important for all of us. And if we're ever going to continue to move our city ahead, change directions, adjust as we need to, we have to have open and free elections. And God bless America and the city of Massillon.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Jim to do his thing and talk. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid to run late there, but I got to talking to Clint down there and
Your
here I
name
am.
and address?
Oh, I'm Jeff Berner, I'm 409 3rd Street. I'm the northeast side of Massillon. Hold on a second, let me break this in. Okay, here I am, back again. All right. I know it's like 15, 20 minutes late, but I do want to hit on, I don't know what was said earlier, But I remember last week, you might have touched base at the beginning of this evening. But as you know me, at the last couple of weeks, that I've been coming here, and you know a little bit know about me, that I've always been checking downtown Lickaway throughout the week, every day, since they started on that project. You cannot tell at the beginning where the sidewalk ends, where the street begins. And if you put up a four-way stop sign, you have to put in traffic lights. It'd be safety. Safety is the best. Otherwise, you're going to have chaos and havoc, and you may have a lawsuit, people getting hit by the cars. Two, when you start snow plowing, and I noticed in April when I heard about it, when you had the bricks being laid down, you cannot use a plow of any kind, let alone a snow shovel of any kind, on that brick. You will destroy it. You cannot use snow salt, let alone sand. Sand will have, there's water in sand, so it will freeze. You have to go with something to protect the brick and the end from being destroyed. So hopefully the Parks Department still has the brush to the Steiner and the grinding mower, and you have to have one of the street department guys to plow all over the brick with the attachment to the Steiner, and you'll be in good shape. Otherwise, if you use, like I do stress this, you cannot have a plow or snow shovel of any kind or salt on that brick. Otherwise, all the time, the money and the effort in this project will be destroyed. I don't know if you know aware of this, but I've been doing this for more than 20 years. On lawn work, landscaping, I'm into details. So if you're not aware of it, of me being here, I'm right on it. So hopefully I got that in 3 minutes. Thanks for your time.
Anyone else?
Oh, yeah. Bill Beaver, 28 Lincoln East, Massillon, Ohio. I need an answer. I want to know when the road's going to be open. I want to know when we're going to put stop signs up and when it's going to be open to travel down Lincoln. I know it'll be open for the parade Saturday. Is it going to stay open?
Mr. Weaver, this is not a question answer.
But this is something that you all owe us.
I
You
understand.
owe us to tell us when.
At the end of the meeting, perhaps the mayor can talk to it. Anyone else? Seeing none, Councilman Manson,
Move to adjourn.
second by Councilman Terry. Meeting adjourned.